No, it didn't seem like it.
Oh, yeah.
Or the work issue that.
Today is Wednesday, January 24th, 2024. The time is 7:02 PM. I'd like to call that joint meeting of the town of Somerset and village of Somerset with the Somerset Fire and Rescue Commission joint meeting to order. Start with you, Lenny. Lenny Germain here.
Doug Clerk, Township Somerset here, and Fire Rescue Commission Chairman.
Tim Witzman, Town Board Chairman, or Town Board Supervisor.
Ed Schaffner, town board.
Jump in together.
Yeah.
Fire rescue commission up in the board.
Mike Gappers, village president.
Chris Dubak, village trustee.
Caleb Garn, trustee.
Donnie Kern, trustee.
Dave Wallner, fire commission.
We can stay under the pledge of allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pretty, for public comment. Anybody in the waiting room have anything for public comment? Brenda, I think.
I do not see anything.
Review the meeting minutes from our September 27th. meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from our September 27th meeting.
Tim Witzman with the first, is there a second?
A second.
Chris Dubak with the second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approval of financial report?
If Sarah couldn't be here due to a client meeting that she had. But if you guys have any questions, I will do my best. to answer. Well, you guys had it and had a chance to look at it
This is the same report that we would
like
have.
a week ago. Yeah, it's just the year end. Everything 23.
You guys have a pretty good handle on your checking account, you know, you paid for your Ford Lightning. Do you think you still have a fair amount in there, or?
There's still, I bet you over 20,000 sitting in that checking account right now. And I just gotta get started, you know, now that everything's paid and done. To where we can. Make do it. We need to buy a washing machine. There are things that we need to do that aren't in our normal budget that we should do and just get done. So we will definitely take that down. You know, 2% money keeps going up. That's what keeps causing that to grow, and we don't really think about that on the budget wise, and then the money just grows in that account, so. But our savings, actual fundraising account, that's where we paid for the truck out of. And that's still got right around 20, I think, after we're said and done as well. So we're
There's a
still
lot of machine, you don't think you'll get a grant for it all?
well, we might try. The FEMA, I'm still, the FEMA grant opens up on the 29th, and so I'm debating of what we're gonna go for. So it's not that big of a ticket item for a FEMA grant. But, so we'll see.
Did, you guys got money for the exhaust system, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually just signed a contract yesterday for that, to order the, so they'll order it in, so then we can get on their job list for spring when it's nice out.
That'll come up in the emissions on your whole business there.
Okay.
So The run total for 2023 was down a little bit from 22, but
like
not much.
16 runs. But the way January's going, I think if it continues like this, we'll be shooting 500 this year. I mean, I don't. It's crazy.
What are most of the calls for?
Unfortunately, some of them are a repeat offender, like 7 times, 8 times probably already this month. Which helps add the numbers quickly. We seem to be getting a little bit more of the, I hurt my foot, you know, feel like I could probably bring himself to the hospital, but call us instead. For some reason, but nothing, nothing big, no structure fires, no.
Have you had the lightning out yet?
We talked about it. It's farther on the agenda.
Do you need a motion or anything on this one?
Yeah.
Somebody would like to make a motion on the financial report?
I'll make a motion to approve the financials as presented.
I'll second the motion.
First and second, further discussion, all in favor,
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Old business, update on future truck orders, emission updates, lead times, etc.
Yeah, just, obviously last meeting, we didn't have the lightning and then they showed up like 2 weeks later or something, pretty quickly after that, but the tender's still on track for June. The reason that we put in the future truck orders is just we'll have to start considering we have it in our plan for that new engine 2028. And right now, build times are anywhere from 2 to 5 years, so from time you order till delivery could be 3, 4, 5 years. We don't know what's gonna happen, so it's something we gotta start seriously thinking about if we're gonna replace that engine, what direction we're going and when we're gonna start looking at doing so.
So what do you think that'll cost?
Depends on it depends on what direction we go. If you look at the last engine we got, that was a 565,000 if I recall. I have ideas for a different style truck, a Quint, something that we can actually have an aerial access to or with. Million at least. So.
Are you able to lock in any kind of pricing when you're talking 3 to 5 years on a build out like that, or is that something that's just gonna be a variable?
That's something that we gotta approach with them. I don't know how they're doing that, to be honest with you. We saw it in the tender. I mean, everybody's well aware that the price jumped on us, but I don't know. I mean, yeah. You gotta assume you don't have no idea what's gonna happen in the next 3 years, 5 years, so how they can lock that in or what they do, I don't know.
Okay.
Some will have to talk to them. We could definitely easily reach out to our sales rep and talk to him.
Travis, is it money down to secure an actual build or?
No, well, depending on the builder now, like Pierce, we put 0 down on this tender. And it's just due at delivery. There are times where I think on the engine, we actually paid for the chassis originally. If I remember it, I don't know if everybody remembers. And then had a final bill when it was complete, I think. So. Depends on the truck, what kind of truck you're building.
Sure.
When you're building a 360 or almost $400,000 truck versus a $500,000 to $1 million truck. So.
Have you guys started savings for that? Budgeting for that?
Well, yeah, we're gonna finish paying for the one we're getting in.
And we all know this one got pushed off, so it's not like we are
We put that on the.
not expecting to get pushed off a little bit with the engine too, so.
For the future agenda.
Trying to stay on that lineup 30 years. So if you're not familiar, my plan has every truck at 30 years is replaced. At 15 years, the truck goes to the backup truck, and that's when that new truck comes in for the next 15 years. And then at the end of 30, you sell it. So that's how our numbers have been set up. So the trucks, NFPA is 20 years. And so we're doing 30. We don't put they don't get the use that a Minneapolis fire truck gets. But there's still tons of safety things that change in 30 years in a truck. I mean, you have to understand. When we bought the tender in 2006, I'm sorry. That was $165,000. The one we just bought was almost $400,000 and it's almost the exact same truck. So. Dude, what do you do?
Is there a used market from Minneapolis or anything like that?
I wouldn't buy something from over, I just. I mean, I wouldn't, I'd say, if you're getting into a new style truck, I would consider it personally, but, I've been pretty adamant that I don't, used trucks have not been that great for us, and what we've done, and so it's. To me, it's,
There's reasons why they get rid of them.
they're selling it for a reason, it's hit their lifespan, and now you've got to take on and not know any of the history or what they've done to it or with it, or repair wise, and just like buying a used car, you never know.
And I didn't quite follow that, so when you get the new one, will there be?
We sell, yeah, so we've always sold, we've actually done pretty well when we sell them, I usually put them on Wisconsin surplus, so like when the new tender comes, the old tender will go on to wisconsinsurplus.com is what we'll use. And we'll sell it there, and I mean, each truck that we sold on there has garnered more money than we expected.
So if the new one's $1 million, you might get 100,000 for the old one?
It's hard to say, cause I don't remember what that engine was bought for back in '98. I don't remember what they paid for that one, it was right around 200,000. Yeah, so I don't know if you get $100, I think it was like 198, comes to mind, yeah.
Anything else on that? Yes. New business discussion consideration, Parent Street, 180th
I want to
Avenue.
go through the emissions thing real quick, just fact that that's a 90 and
Emission.
95 for the grant.
Yeah, I guess that would be, yeah, so that's what the grant, okay. Yeah, so we do have the FEMA grant. And I don't have the numbers right on hand, but I got 2 quotes, there's only 2 companies that actually do the actual, where they connect to the exhaust of the vehicles. And they're $100 apart, I think $700 on the bids. Plymouth Vent was one of them, and Magna Grip is the other one. Plymouth Vent was a little bit cheaper one, it was also the one that I was a little more impressed with their product. So I just signed with that yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever it was. So they can order the stuff, and I think I can now request the funds from FEMA, so we might even be able to get a little bit of money off, because if we can pay in advance type of deal. But that was where the town had, I don't know, 5 years ago when I first started writing that grant. Had offered to do 5% of that, so it's like $85,000 or $87,000 product. So 5% of that is 4,000 or whatever it is, that they will pay, and then the rest will be federally funded. So that'll be an exhaust system, every vehicle in there, there'll be an exhaust hookup for the Ford Lightning part. That was part of the original bid, or the grant when it was written. So, but every truck will have it, and it'll basically, for our setup, I believe when the ignition key will turn on, the system will turn on. And so before the truck starts, they'll start evacuating the exhaust, and then so when it does start, the exhaust will just go right out the building. So it'll allow us to do like truck maintenance night. We should generally pull trucks out because the exhaust is too much inside the station. Plus we have CO alarms that are on our equipment, on some of our medical bags. So it'll allow us to do our truck maintenance inside and have the trucks running and not have to worry about stuff like that. So it just goes along with the whole cancer thing, firefighting.
Glad to hear that's moving forward.
Yeah, we should see, we'll get on the list for a build, and we didn't want to do it in the winter because all the trucks are gonna have to be pulled out for a day or two while they do all the install, so. And don't need fire trucks outside in the cold.
And the Ford Lightning is just about ready.
Yeah, is that,
That's the same thing.
oh, yeah, so it's not back from ceramic coating yet, I don't think, unless it showed up today, I don't know, but the heat has been told to take it as long as it needs it, because right now, the lighting and stuff, they haven't even ordered, because they're trying to deal with Wheeling for us and try to get a discount, and then they'll use that truck at a fire chief Joe's in Wisconsin, Minnesota. That was our agreement, if they get us a deal on some of the equipment, so, but it's licensed, it's graphicked. And then we were just actually talking about last night, if we have a fire, we'll use it like where our plans are. There's no lights and siren on it, so we just aren't gonna be running as a backup medical truck yet. So the Tahoe, we're gonna continue to hold on to until that installation is done, and then we'll sell the Tahoe.
And that was one that Wisconsin surplus too.
I think so. It's just the easiest, and locally, I mean, people are interested, they can bid on it too, so it's not a big deal.
Now, at the time, I know when you got the Lightning, you're talking about maybe just charging it over here, but have you checked with the utility companies? Because, sometimes they'll give you a break on the charger and on the rates for charging it.
So right now, and because of the very minimum use that we're gonna get or use it,
Okay,
it's really, for us to have to bring it down here, it's gonna take somebody needing to take it a couple hundred miles away. Because I charged it when we first got it, I charged to 100%, which Joel's very familiar, the police chief, very familiar with all the background electric vehicles. They say not to continuously do that, so we'll probably set it like 80 or 90. It's still at like 92, 90
Okay.
or 94. So you're talking almost 2 months later, just sitting there. It's not plugged in, so I'm not really concerned about running it, putting it as the level 2 or anything at this point.
okay,
We do have, government agencies were not able to do it until recently, but the paperwork is not ready yet, but Joel had sent me some stuff on. It's like a $7,000, like if you were to personally buy an electric vehicle, it's like a government fund or whatever. So as long as we bought it in 23 or whatever, and the paperwork, whenever they finally get around to getting it published, so you can actually fill it out. It's something that Joel said we'll probably just work with Andrea down here on.
okay.
But it'd be like, it's like another 7,000 or 500 we could get back on that truck. So for buying it, so would reduce the cost even more. So kind of nice. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get that.
That's probably just the EV rebate, which I think the Lightning qualifies for. it.
Yeah, but it was just for public and now it's actually going out to government entities as well.
Oh, it is, okay,
Yeah.
good.
Anything else, gentlemen, on that one? New business, discussion, consideration, Parent Street, 180th Avenue, jurisdictional transfer.
What brought this on? Did you guys talk about it last meeting or just talking every now and then?
Jerry asked me to add it.
Maybe it's from when Jerry and I talked once about how much longer is it gonna be 180th before it turns into Parent Street?
I think it's talked about a couple of joint meetings ago. Came up, not last one maybe, but. Few ago.
I'm in no hurry to change my address.
I think it came up when they were doing some work on the road.
Yeah.
Lack of knowledge, that was one.
I think it was, yeah, probably more stuff with Chuck. I mean, just, yeah, he's your engineer, he's our engineer, and he didn't even know who owned the road. And I think Mike, you and I talked about it the other day, and you take out 20 feet of a town road and you don't even notify Wally, and you put signs up that close the road. The other thing we talked with Chuck about is it's village land, but it's a township road, and we have 200-foot driveway separations, no driveway permission.
But there was a letter or something I think they were talking about on that, wasn't it, Len?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, as far as that driveway separation, didn't Chuck get some kind of a letter to the township on that?
News to me.
No.
I don't think so.
There was-
We gave them a hard time about it. but-
Yeah.
Somebody gave you a
There was
letter.
two, three times where they bored under the road, and one time they just, I mean, when you made the cut, they should have just ran the other utility, whatever it was, that just went in a couple months ago. There's still a 18 by 18 or a 24 by 24 cut in the road that was never patched. But eventually, yeah, I'm assuming it's gonna be a village road. And it's probably gonna turn into Parent Street.
And right now, the entire south side is village, right? And then the north side is.
Entire south side of the property
Furthest
off of the road right away is village, but you guys don't own. We still own the 66-foot wide road right away. You guys just bought the
Jurisdictionally, it
property.
goes from the center of the road, but as far as ownership of the road, until that transfers, it's still township road from like Lawyers on.
Don't we own our road? We own our road right of ways, right?
Well, I'm sure,
Do we get, we must be getting state aid on that.
Correct on that one.
Yes.
We're getting state aid on that.
So what's the township's position there?
I'm assuming we ride it out and see where it goes. I don't know, turning it over would be a good thing. But then I gotta change my address.
That'll happen, but, yeah, cause at some point it should probably go to the village, just like you said. Well, I mean, we don't,
It's
it's
confusing.
no use us having a town road in your village,
Right.
you know, just doesn't.
It's confusing for FedEx, everybody. To go from Parent Street
To one
to,
identity, yeah.
and then there's a big
There, is there
gap.
specific action that needs to happen on that then?
Right now tonight, let's not.
We could, but
180th is up there by Whiplash, cuts through right past me, and then it picks up again
sure.
It follows the freeway.
Right.
on the other side of River's Edge through a bridge there.
Yeah, it's awkward.
Yeah.
But that, yeah, we got that little piece of Parent there. That's weird.
I mean,
Well-
yeah, it's not really us.
Do you guys want it on as a future agenda item, or you can just wait till something comes up down the road?
I guess we don't, I don't even know how many feet are we talking, I don't even know where it's fixed that, so we're gonna go all the way to
You go all the way to the intersection.
the intersection and.
And then
Couple
it's
hundred
all-
yards or something, you know?
Well, you want Parent Street to just continue all the way up to,
Oh,
All the way to the intersection.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is when the state did the project, the driveway that goes to the two houses was called Parent Street. So it was those two houses, and that was a little stub road. That's Parent, 180th, and then Parent again going to the grocery store. That's-
Alright.
I don't wanna do it right now. If you guys wanna give it up in the spring, I'm fine with that. It gives me a little bit
well,
of
we
time.
table it till next month then, or next meeting?
let's have it to the next quarter meeting, now we'll can take a look at it and see what we think too, I guess.
To keep the discussion going,
Yeah,
see where we're going.
Send you the bill.
Alright. Discussion, possible involvement meeting for the bike and pedestrian trail project. And then Jerry had this put on as well.
Mhm.
So did you get a good turnout tonight of people coming up? Cause there was an open house for tonight?
It was last week.
Oh, that was last.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I talked to Bob and he said there was probably 15, 20.
There was a lot of people there. It was a good one.
Yeah, there's about 15.
yeah, I was gonna say we should.
Okay.
Is it in your packet?
I pulled it up because a printout copy of it would not be super great.
In a roundabout, where's it going?
Up Churchill. From basically the car wash up to, yeah, up to actually 190th. Up to
From Laser to
190th
190th on the, it'd be on the east, west side of the road.
on the west side of the road, correct?
And then it'll
And,
come down La Granger, from SMC, on the west side of the road, back up to, yeah, there you go.
Are you actually constructing a paved trail then, or is it a gravel?
It's
10-foot paved trail.
Okay.
So you're talking, it would take more land right there by our town hall, is that what you're? I'm
It'll
looking
be,
at?
in the, roadway.
Did we to the,
Sold the
we
chunk.
sold the chunk.
Well, we gave the,
Is this gonna be an additional, you have to buy more property? Is that what I guess is what I'm asking?
I think
It's all within the right of way.
everything was
It's all-
right away except a little chunk on Churchill is what
Okay.
the guy.
That's why I was
said.
wondering whether if you were gonna ask more land from us on the corner there.
Donnie, do you remember? I don't.
Everything,
believe-
everything was in the right of way except for what you said, Mike, as far as Churchill. To my understanding, there was just a spot where there was a concern with the landowner and,
Yeah.
some right of way infringement there.
Obvious, being they just
Yeah, and then
got that land from us.
and then on 190th, it would be on the north side, and then you guys were notified because it does go through part of the township right away.
Yeah, yeah.
So then there was a lot of people, Chris Marshall was there, a lot of people along 190th and McKeever's Road there. And then,
More off the blacktop actually, is it, do you have a standard design that you're gonna use?
it's all federal funding according to the guy from SEH Engineering. And it's gotta be a 10-foot wide trail, and from edge of the concrete to the start of the trail is 5 feet on both sides.
Like when we did by Landing Hill, there was a lot of restrictions in regards to lights and stuff like that, sight lines. So if it was on a curve or anything, and they saw bikers out there, it had to be at a different elevation or something. But that's at a higher speed than out in the rural area.
Yeah, I don't think there was much for,
I think this was a TAP grant, if I'm not mistaken, because I think I remember somebody looking at it and saying, oh, we got our TAP grant, because we applied for the one on Landing Hill. And somebody said, oh, Somerset got theirs. Well, it was a village, not the town that got it, so.
So you're just making connections. Basically, you guys have a walk path, bike path going past SMC all the way down to 190th already.
But not on LaGranger, Lynn.
No.
So
And
it's
then
connecting all of those.
Yeah, you're gonna bring the Ranger all the way down to the new one right following the freeway, right?
correct,
And then you're just tying
Yes.
in off your walk path behind all the condos up there.
correct.
It'll be nice access for the community to get off the road.
Yeah.
And walk or bike.
To me, it seems,
Well, you have that map up there too. Check your crosswalks going up Churchill. I think there's a few that aren't marked. One, I think the one up by the car wash wasn't marked last time I noticed. There might have been one other one.
I don't think they're allowed to. He had addressed that in his presentation. There's something that the state, because it's a state-owned road,
But they striped it.
he said there's basically it ended somewhere and they said, we can't do anything past this point. And it was basically the edge of the trail that they've got designed. I could be wrong in
The
the
road project
misunderstood.
this summer. The road project, you guys put some crosswalks in.
We didn't, the state did.
Yeah. They never signed them.
Which one are you referring to, Lynn?
I think it was up by the car wash.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's not up, that one, is a crosswalk. It's no different than the one, that comes down, on the bottom, but I don't think that they were allowed to put signage there. Because that's where the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit comes into play right there. So everything drops down. The one that they did put signage up on was the main usage by the church.
So they just tried to brought the people up to a certain point and they want them to cross there instead of everywhere.
Right, yeah, that's more likely. Harder to stop traffic at 35.
Well,
And then once they're going 35 miles an hour, they're not gonna. You get rid of it.
anything on?
So is that gonna happen then this year or?
25.
20%? That's what I'm wondering.
25.
I think the final plans on that will be, coming out this fall, and then they'll put it out for bid in the spring of next year for 25's work.
Discussion, consideration, needs assessment, and change order to the fire department, town hall, EMS. $3,500 to split between the village and town. This, the Caleb and Brandon had put on, I think it's, the email said, but I think,
Yeah.
did we bring it up before just because we found out that?
Well,
the fire
So
department.
the history
wasn't
was,
added to the
originally we
consent?
ordered part of it with the whatever company you guys first had in there. Cause they came up, met with us, took pictures, talked to us, asked questions about everything. And then whatever company you guys went with, they did not include the fire department in there. And so now, talking to Joel Trip Truck, it's like, they want $3,500. I'm like, well, I don't have $3,500 in my budget for something like this, like. It's clearly, it's something that needs to be done. if I would hope that you guys see that the fire department needs a needs assessment. There's a definite need for making sure that we're out of space, and as it is, I've been asking for 5+ years for some kind of a joint. What do you guys call it? When you guys do your plans, you guys all have a village one and a town one, but we have nothing, comprehensive plan, we have nothing that says anything to do with their little co-owned little child that sits in the corner. So, I mean, to me, this is like one step maybe to get us back involved. So when Joel Tripchuk was talking with Gunther and whoever else, he'd also talked to John Muller with Lakeview. There's not really any plans to bring an ambulance over here today. However, if they're doing a needs assessment, building a building, that's possibly something that they would be interested in adding a, 2 deep ambulance bay with quarters and all that in it. What's happening with them is, as everybody's seeing that Routes and Motors, that is now their nice base that they've transformed. Eventually the hospital is building a new hospital up 36 more down towards North St. Paul or Oakdale that way. And I believe their bases are gonna move again. So now our ambulance service keeps moving farther away. So at some point, it's gonna be beneficial to them to possibly bring a truck over into Somerset, which would be beneficial and huge for us, even as a fire department. So that's why they kind of got thrown in here too. But it's a needs assessment. I think you're crazy to not think that there shouldn't be something done on the fire department side of it to see what our needs are. I mean, I can't predict where we're going. I don't even know which way to go with an engine next, Do I go for a bigger truck that has aerial capabilities? I think we need to, but I've got nothing that solid backing that.
Are you guys okay with splitting costs and adding them to the needs assessment?
Yeah, I think we've been talking about that a couple of times, so move forward with it, makes sense.
It's just their own needs assessment. It ain't got nothing to do with your guys'.
It just adds to the one that's already been going.
Adds to yours and helps with grants for you and you guys possibly future.
Just gets them involved in the equation. Somebody want to make a motion?
I have a question on that first. What, do we know what is gonna come out of the needs assessment? Is it a facility assessment only, or is it a long-term needs assessment for the fire department involving the village and townships? I don't know.
I think it's just facilities, if I remember when I met with the guy, the first guy.
Donnie, can you speak to that? I guess I'm not.
Well, I think if they've talked, Travis, I think they were talking, if they're gonna do a needs assessment, they're gonna do a full assessment of what is needed. If the fire chief says, well, this is what I'd like to have, but I'd like to know what's going on, as far as building and development in the community. And they say, well, the village is looking at putting high rises up. He said, well, then I'm gonna need a ladder truck, to cover the high rises. So I think really it's gonna come down to what the assessment is gonna be, both facilities and or needs of the department.
Is the village having it done for billing needs?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. For what?
so
Billing.
on this professional service agreement, the compensation adjustment would be compensation for expanded space needs services. Or services related to the addition of fire and EMS with associated conceptual site design will be based on a lump sum basis. Space planning and concept design, $3,500.
I think we all understand that you're gonna need a building.
Right.
You're gonna have to move someday.
Right, and it's my assumption is the village is looking at, they probably need a new space as well, and that if they incorporate where the fire department is part of that new building.
You don't wanna be attached, do you?
I don't really care. To me, it makes more sense. I mean, have a public safety building that encompasses police,
You want
fire,
off-ramp location.
public, yeah, I mean, our location's awesome. Don't get me wrong, but,
No, I mean, the only other location like that is across.
well, the village owns, a bunch of land up there too. So, I mean, it's not out of question that. I have no idea what their future plans are as far as the building, but that's what I think this is gonna help. Start going that direction, of what they need to do, and what they need to plan for. I mean, our fire department's not keeping up with growth. I mean, it's just, you just proved out, a couple hundred more homes up at Antelope Grandeur there, how many by the school. I mean, we're operating with 20 people, so we can't, personnel wise, we can nothing. We're not
not gonna keep up with it. So, and this goes back to my comprehensive plan for us, is that we really need to step back and be like, yes, we need to plan for this, because we're not.
It's a big money to spend here shortly. It would be big money to spend in the next.
Is the township looking at the same kind of growth that we are in the village?
No, we actually went down 10 houses from the year before.
County's new comp plan came out and said we're gonna go by 50%.
Yeah. Same thing, gonna explode in the next 5 to 10 years.
Did you get your comp plan to match their projected growth?
I believe so. It was right in there somewhere.
And if it said Somerset and what was it, Hudson were the two top ones?
Yeah.
We're expecting a lot of growth.
Yeah. With interest rates and everything coming down, it's going to. Everybody's trying to move out of Minnesota right now.
To what? Move right back into Minnesota with your kind of developments? Well, everyone, we did a couple surveys and a lot of the surveys all came back. Don't let it look like Woodbury. Don't let it look like Woodbury. You drive down the freeway and you go past the development by the school, what does it look like? 694 and 494 going right past Woodbury.
That's,
You gotta make housing affordable for starters too.
everybody's looking for big houses with small lots, so they don't have to maintain.
That's what you were told.
That's the going trends.
That's what I wanted when I moved from Minneapolis.
You had other reasons for moving out of there. All right, we voting on that?
Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that the town and village do the $35,000 addition, $3,500 excuse me, with the standard split, which is 53-47.
Second,
The first and second, any further discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Opposed, same sign. Before we set the next date and time, Lenny had brought something up in a conversation we had, maybe to try to put something on a future agenda to update our transportation map, our joint transportation map.
Remember when we did that, Ed? I don't remember if Jerry Newman was on the board or not, or I got on in 06. And it was kind of bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, 'cause at that time they did some ghost mapping and everything, and it showed,
Been almost 20 years, I've seen.
Like the connection,
you know,
going through the new developments.
There's roads on there that won't be roads. There's other things that have changed. The new development going in up there is gonna change the map.
180th is gonna become Parent Street.
You might as well get your address changed now.
Is that something we should put on, for our next joint meeting, just to start the discussion?
No, if we must have maps on that somewhere.
Yeah, I sent Mike a map. Gunther's got a map. Newman looked at it too, just with the development going in up there in LaGrange, we all plan for that kind of snake and go in and out, but not go all the way over towards the highway and then branch out 3 times. I mean, it'll work the way it is. I think the big cleanup's gonna be, 1, you guys get rid of a chunk of land that's a burden on you. 2, if and when Newman ever does anything, it's gonna be a clean slate.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of landmines in that property and it don't get any better on Larry Mondor's or getting closer to 80th, but there's only so many accesses to Highway 35. And with the lake back there, you got a half-mile to get as many out to 80th Street as you can, and the hardest part with that's gonna be is all those houses, you gotta get out on 35, and that's tough. 4 or 5 o'clock at night, while you live there, you
In the
can't,
morning.
it's bad, you can't get
get out in the morning.
afternoon when you come from the north, and like tonight I went to go pull into my mom's. If you're coming from the north, you gotta wait for 10 cars that just left a stoplight, and if one person turns on 200, now they're all gapped together. It's dangerous for anybody traveling southbound on 35 for all the way up to 210, 220. 80th Street, mean, you gotta go down and you gotta make the big jog around Rivard's house. You guys own that land below the bulk place, how come you can't straighten out 80th to see?
Maybe we can.
I think it won't hurt, maybe our planning committee, your planning committee, look at the map and then we go together and see what you came up with, what we come up with.
And since we both use, Chuck at MSA, maybe he can come up with something for us.
And we come up with something better.
Right, can you put that for a future agenda?
Got it.
Next date in. You know what that day would be for the next joint meeting?
Usually the fourth Wednesday of the month, 3 months.
April 24th.
April
April 24th.
At 7 PM.
You can go now, Don.
Any, yeah.
And that will be at the town in
Right,
April.
Yeah.
Anything else, you guys?
Move to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
discussion, all in favor?
Right.
All right, the meeting is adjourned at 7:43 PM. Thank you, guys.
Night, Gary.
So.